So what if Hillary consults with the dead? What about Nancy? I say, what about Nancy? The other night, I dreamt I was the Ayatollah Khomeini. Well, then I woke up and realized that Socks was sleeping on my face. Although I had developed a strange affinity for Muammar Gaddafi. Now, ladies and gentlemen, is it just me, or does Jimmy Carville sound like a hillbilly in a blender? Now, Vice President Al Gore had been working lots of late nights with me. Tipper, his lovely wife, decided to give him something to come home for. She bought a pair of crotchless panties. You know what I'm talking about. And when Al came walking in, there she was, sprawled across the sofa with her new purchase clearly displayed. "Don't you want a little of this, honey?" she purred. Al took one look and said, "Not after what it did to those panties." A guy dies, unfortunate but true, and he finds himself in hell. He's totally depressed. Sure, I may have led a wild life, he thinks, but I can't believe it was this bad. I didn't know it would come to this. The admissions counselor down there in hell notices his heavy heart. "What's the matter, young man? You seem kind of depressed." "Well, what do you think?" said the young man. "I'm in hell, aren't I?" The counselor replies, "Well, yeah, but it's not so bad. We have a lot of fun down here. Do you drink?" "Well, sure I like to drink." "Well, then you are going to love Mondays. On Mondays, we drink up a storm. Nothing but the finest whiskey, rum, tequila, beer, anything you want and as much as you want. And no hangover, 'cause you're already dead. Yeah, old boy, you're going to love Mondays. Do you smoke?" "Well, sure, I like to smoke." "Well, then you're going to love Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, we smoke up a storm. Nothing but the finest cigars, the best cigarettes, and no worries about cancer, 'cause you're already dead. Oh, yeah, you're going to love Tuesdays. Now tell me, do you do drugs?" "Well, I might have done a few in college." "Well, then you are going to love Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, we do drugs all over the place. You can have all you want of any drug you have ever heard of, and no worries about ODing or addiction, 'cause you're already dead. Oh, I know you're going to love Wednesdays. Hey, do you gamble?" "Well, sure, I like to gamble." "Well, then you're going to love Thursdays. On Thursdays, we gamble up a storm. All day, all night, blackjack, craps, poker, slots, horse racing, you name it. And you never have to pay your bookie, 'cause you got it, you're already dead. Yeah, oh, I just know you're going to love Thursdays. Now, let me ask you this. Are you gay?" No." "Uh-oh. Well, then, you are going to hate Fridays." One of my secretaries stopped in at a bar in Georgetown for a drink. As she waited at the bar, she was startled to hear a bowl of pretzels say, "Lady, you are beautiful." She was questioning her own sanity when the bowl of peanuts said, "Lady, you're not just beautiful, you are gorgeous." As the bartender returned with her drink, she told him, "Your bowl of pretzels said I'm beautiful, and your peanuts said I'm gorgeous." And the bartender replied, "But of course, ma'am, they're complimentary." Now, I knew this guy, who shall remain nameless, back in Little Rock, who called his wife one evening and said, "Honey, I've been invited to spend a week fishing with some of my best customers, but they're leaving right away. Could you pack my clothes, my fishing gear, and, oh, don't forget my blue silk pajamas. I'll be home in a few minutes to pick 'em up." An hour later, he flew into the house, grabbed his stuff, and raced off. A week later, he returned. his wife asked him, "Did you have a good week, dear?" "Oh, yes, honey, it was great." "But you didn't pack my blue silk pajamas." His wife smiled and said, "Oh, yes, I did. They're in your tackle box." It's okay, folks. I know you're laughing inside. When I was in grade school, my teacher played a game. She said, "I'm holding something behind my back that's long and hard and has a pink tip." I quickly raised my hand. "Is it a pencil, teacher?" "No, little Billy," she said, "but I like the way you're thinking." So I put my hand down my pants and said, "Teacher, I'm holding something in my pocket that's round and hard and has a head on it." She cried, "All right, that's it. You're going straight to the principal's office, Billy." "Wow," I said, "it's only a quarter, but I like the way you're thinking." When I was young, I wanted to become a priest until I found out what nun meant. Why do men have belly buttons? So co-eds have a place to park their gum on the way down. What did the doctor say to the man who was nervous about being circumcised? "Well, it won't be long now." The room service waiter delivering breakfast was greeted by a beautiful young woman in a see-through nightie. As soon as he closed the door, she pounced on him, ripped off his clothes, and screwed his brains out. Afterwards, when they were dressed, she said, "Oh, here, I almost forgot," and she handed him $1. "What's this for?" he asked. "Oh, this morning when I asked my husband what should I tip the waiter, he said, 'Screw him. Give him $1.' When we were both in college, Al Gore and I went to Fort Lauderdale for spring break. But when I finally found Al, he was very, very sad. "Man, I'm just not getting any. What am I doing wrong?" So I told him, "Put a potato in your pants. It gets them every time." The next day I saw him again. "Having any luck, Al?" "No," he says. "In fact, I'm doing even worse." So I suggested, "Al, try putting the potato in the front." The young lady was obviously displeased with her new lover's performance. "You must be the world's worst lay," she scolded. "I think not," he replied. "That would be too great a coincidence." You see, she was also the worst that he ever, and okay. Good night, drive safely. A young lady answered a personal ad in the paper and arranged a date with a nice-sounding man. At the appointed hour, the doorbell rang, but when she opened the door, she got a big surprise. The nice-looking fellow standing there had no arms or legs. "Hi, I'm the guy from the ad in the paper." Yes, but," she protested. "Oh, you've probably noticed my physical challenges. But look at it this way. Since I have no arms, I can't hit you. Since I have no legs, I can't run around on you." She considered all this. "Well, perhaps, and you are quite attractive. But can you satisfy my needs?" she said. "Well, I reached the doorbell, didn't I?" An attractive young mother, oh, they're the best kind, was having the birds and bees lecture with her little girl. To make a baby, the daddy puts his sperm in the mommy's tummy. "Well, I don't understand," the little girl said. "If the daddy puts his sperm in the mommy's tummy, does that mean that the mommy has to swallow the daddy's sperm?" "Well," said the mommy, "only if the mommy wants jewelry."